night's celebration of Carlos Ruiz's 1,000th game as a Phillies catcher was even sweeter because the Phillies pulled out a victory. Such a classy move by the Phillies and the Phillies players to salute him with a little champagne and a great-looking cake. And then the celebration turned to today here at Citizens Bank Park. It was Weather Appreciation Day earlier today, presented by NBC 10. 11,000 kids, and they'll be on hand for today's ball game between the Phils and the Miami Marlins. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy. I'll be joined in just a little bit by Ben Davis and Greg Murphy. It's amazing what a difference a year makes. At this point last year, the Phillies had 16 wins. That was not awful. They started to tailspin as the year moved on. But this year, 23 wins. It's the second most in the National League. The team ERA is one of the big differences, 3.83, which is ranked 6th in the NL. They're third in strikeouts. The team average, not so hot, but they're creeping up. It's been a great run for this ball club, and today they look for another series sweep or another series victory against right-hander Tom Koehler of the Miami Marlins. Now, Koehler, the last time he faced the Phillies, had a season high in strikeouts. This was one of his better outings. In fact, his last two outings have been just like this. He's been pounding the strike zone down along the knees and using his off-speed pitches to perfection. It's one of the reasons why he's turned things around. His ERA before his last two starts was about 8. Now, he was a little wild his last time out, but he has 12 strikeouts during his last two outings with an ERA of 1.42, and the opposition is hitting just a $190 against him. You know what he said he did? He said, I just mentally cleared the slate for my first 5 starts and said, I am starting over. And we'll see if the Phillies can get to him here this afternoon. He'll be opposed in today's ballgame by Jeremy Hellickson, who's making his 9th start of the year, coming off a solid outing his last time out here at Citizens Bank Park. Well, Elvis Araujo and the rest of the Phillies bullpen really did their job last night, and they did it with strikeouts. 17 strikeouts was one off the franchise record for a 9-inning game. We'll get to the lineups and first pitch when we return to Philadelphia. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Xfinity. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV. By Toyota. Get a great deal on your favorite Toyota during the Toyota Time Sales event. Toyota, let's go places. By Citizens Bank. The next time you have a question about money, don't keep it to yourself. Ask a citizen. By Coca-Cola, the official soft drink of the Phils. And by Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless. Learn more at IVX.com. Park, the Phils and the Miami Marlins. It's game 3 of this series. It's a Citizens Bank Business Person Special. And this is on the heels of Weather Appreciation Day here at the ballpark. Jeremy Hellickson, for the first time, is wearing the red tops. This is only the second time the Phillies have worn them. It's the second day game. The last time, I'm not saying we're going to have the same outcome, but the last time was when Vince Velasquez struck out 16. Jeremy Hellickson isn't necessarily a strikeout pitcher, but he is averaging more than 1 per inning pitched. Let's take a look at the Marlins lineup. It's brought to you by Xfinity. The new Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV. Derek Dietrich leads it off at second, then JT Realmuto. Christian Yelich, the left fielder, bats third. Giancarlo Stanton hits cleanup. Marcell Ozuna, he's been hot. Phillies cooled him off a little bit last night. He'll bat fifth. Justin Bour sixth. And the bottom third of Johnson, Rojas, and Tom Kohler. And they will face the aforementioned Jeremy Hellickson, 29 years old, out of Des Moines, Iowa. 3-2 this year with an ERA of 4.12. 46 strikeouts in 43 2/3 innings of work. Really good outing his last time out against the Reds. 7 innings, 9 strikeouts, 2 unearned runs. He's topped off this year at 92, but his average fastball velocity around 89 miles per hour. Well, the Philly fanatic, he was in rare form today. Jose Fernandez was causing some issues and then was helping the fanatic out, I think. I don't know if that's people helping people right there or not. Whoop! No, he wasn't trying to help. He was trying to steal the fanatic's keys. That's right. That's the first time I'm seeing that. That's funny.
That's a good one.
Well, Hellickson's finished up with his warm-up tosses. Cameron Rupp, his first game back since that collision, just fired one into center field, so he's all ready to go. All right, Ben, it's time now for our Nissan keys to this afternoon's ball game.
They have to find a way to get production from the middle of the lineup. That's going to be a big key for them. And also limit the extra base hits. 12 of the hits against this Marlins lineup against Jeremy Hellickson have, out of the 12 hits, 8 have gone for extra base hits.
Boy, that rock and roll concert you performed in last night really did a number on your voice, didn't it?
My apologies with the allergies.
There's Derek Dietrich to lead it off. Dietrich 1 for 6 in the series. And he takes just a bit outside. It's 1 ball and no strikes. Dietrich 289, 2 homers and 16 RBIs. Another one outside, 2-0. First strike of the day, it's 2-1. Dietrich batting leadoff for the Marlins as they continue to search for a leadoff guy to stem the tide until D. Gordon comes back. The guy on deck did it for a little bit. I always wonder why they don't try Martin Prado a little bit more as the leadoff hitter.
I was thinking the same thing, Tom.
Dietrich has reached base safely in 13 straight games. Popped up third base side. Maikel Franco is over and won't get there. I don't think he saw that right away.
No, he did not.
He just looked up to the sky. He's got the sunglasses on. But that was a catchable ball.
Very catchable, and you would like to have that, especially the leadoff man. You always want to keep the leadoff man off base. You see him running to it, just not able to get there.
Points up to the sky. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Dietrich, and just missed. Boy, oh boy. That's ball 4, so Dietrich's aboard to start the game. Home plate umpire is Mark Ripperger. Joe West is at first, Andy Fletcher at second, and Toby Basner around at third. And here is JT Realmuto, who had a pinch hit double in last night's ball game. Couple hits in this series. This guy's turned into a solid player. He is 4 for 13 against the Phillies so far this year.
I know their catching coach, Brian Snyder, really likes working with JT.
Part of the reason why Brian's on the staff is because of JT Realmuto. It's also because Brian at one point will be a manager, I think, in the big leagues. He's that good and was a manager last year for the Marlins organization. 1 ball and no strikes. Marlins as a team are 3rd in the National League in batting average at .274. So they've dipped down as the series progressed. They're tied for 10th in home runs, tied for 10th in runs scored. Popped up again. Let's see if Howard has the same issues. Over toward the railing, makes the catch. 1 out. Even that one, though, the wind kind of took it in a different direction from where it started and where Ryan Howard's path was taking.
I must say I'm not accustomed to seeing the flags in center field blowing towards left field. Usually they're howling out to right, but today they're moving towards left.
Yeah, usually it's a benefit to the left-handed hitters. 62 degrees today. All these questions that Greg Murphy can ask Glenn Hurricane Schwartz in the next inning. Yelich takes low, 1-0.
Pretty good pitch there, Tom.
Well, that's 2 now in this inning, so you adapt to the umpire's strike zone if this is indeed his strike zone.
What if that was a strike?
I bet you if the guy at first base was up, it would have been a strike.
Yes, sir.
1 ball and 1 strike to Yelich. 8th in the league in on base percentage, a .422 mark. He has 4 hits and 8 at bats in this series and has 9 hits against the Phillies this year, hitting .429. Foul ball toward the Phillies dugout and down the stairwell.
You know, when I talked to Don Mattingly yesterday, he was very happy about the fact that these guys use the whole field. And, you know, that's something I pointed out to him. And he said, we have a lot of young hitters, but they're young hitters that have been in the league for 3 years. I said, that's a great point. So these guys are really learning how to hit while still being so young.
I think it's one of the things that attracted him to this job. Not that he had a choice, because he was done with the Dodgers, essentially. Change up. 2-2. I know Larry Boa, who had talked to the Marlins about this job, he was excited about the young hitters. Larry decided to take his name out of the mix for the Marlins position. 2-2 to Christian Yelich. Now toward left center field. On the run is Borges and Goodell. It's going to one-hop the wall. Heading to third base is Dietrich, and he's being waved home casually. The throw to the plate by Blanco. Here we go, and it's off the glove of Cameron Rupp, and it's 1-0 Marlins.
I think even if Cameron holds on to this baseball, he's going to be safe.
I would agree with that.
The relay throw just didn't have quite enough on it from Andres Blanco. But I think he would have definitely gotten in there. And again, another throw that carried him into the base runner. Now, we were talking last night. Lenny Harris, third base coach, didn't have that great a night last night.
I don't think he was so sure about sending him there either.
Yeah.
Here's Giancarlo Stanton. 1-0 Marlins here in the first. Stanton 0 for 6 of the series, and he lifts that one down the right field line. Made out of play. No balls and 1 strike. Well, the shame is that the the run was scored by Derek Dietrich, who conceivably should have been out on a foul pop. But he wound up walking and then comes around to score. In the dirt, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Regardless of whether Michael should have caught that ball, which I think he should have, a leadoff walk still comes around to score.
Absolutely.
They haunt you every time.
Off the end of the bat, and it's 1-2 to Stanton, who is 1 for 14 with 8 strikeouts so far this year with the Phillies. Murph mentioned the one the other night. It was the blast out in South Florida. Swing and a miss, a changeup. Well, the Phillies have caught Giancarlo Stanton at times during his young career where he has been struggling at the plate. They're in one of those moments right now. It doesn't last, but as long as it lasts till the end of this game.
He is such a streaky hitter, but he looks, like you said, hope it lasts to the end of this game. He looks lost, like he's guessing up there. Off balance swings.
Marcell Ozuna, who had a 16-game hitting streak, come to a close last night, but he did walk in his first at bat. And that extended his on-base streak to 25. His one hit in this series is a home run. He does have a home run against Hellickson. Inside, 2-0.
And Jeremy coming into this game with a career 4.18 ERA against the Fish.
Yeah, when he faced him down in Miami, he went 5 1/3. He struck out 4. He received a no decision because the Phillies wound up winning that game late. It was the game against Kohler. Into the camera well. 2-1.
That's one hot month. 397.
So one hot month. Really is the best pitch for Jeremy Hellickson, that changeup.
It was so good his last outing. It was exceptional. Against the Reds, I believe he had 9 strikeouts.
He had 9 strikeouts.
Unbelievable.
Walked 1, 2 unearned runs. Popped up foul.
Remember recapping that game, so many were on that changeup.
About to throw his 23rd pitch of this ball game. And a liner down the left field line. If it stays fair, it's going to be another run. It's a fair ball going to the corner. And Ozuna's on his way to second. And he has an RBI double. And it's 2-0.
That whole at bat, they're trying to get balls inside on Marcell. And they just weren't able to do it. I don't know how he keeps that ball fair.
And he knew it was fair, too. I mean, he was taken off as soon as the ball left the bat.
He was. 26th consecutive game, and he's reached base. That ball's off the plate, Tom, but yet he still keeps it fair.
So 2-0 Marlins on top. Justin Bour is the batter. Ozuna and the Marlins now have 22 extra base hits in the 6 games that these two teams have played. So averaging nearly 4 extra base hits per game. That's a lot.
That's why it was one of the keys to the game for me. Already with 2.
Bour 7 home runs, 19 RBIs. He does have a home run in the series. Phillies down 2-0 here in the first. Mentioned how good the changeup was for Hellickson his last time. He threw it 33% of the time. Threw his fastball 44% of the time. Now his curveball, which is normally his second or third pitch, and it's pretty close usually to the changeup. His curveball he only threw 9% of the time, 9.7%. But when you got it going, when you got the other pitches going, you might as well ride it.
Yep.
Opposition hitting .045 against that changeup in the last 5 starts, or 4 starts, I should say. Curveball, and it's whacked to the right side, right where Hernandez was sitting. Side is retired. 2 runs do score. 2 extra base hits. 1 walk. Marlins leave 1, but they'll take a 2-0 lead into the bottom of the first when we get back. We move to the bottom of the first inning. First time that David Lowe is going to lead off for the Phils. Let's take a look at that Phillies lineup. It's brought to you by Xfinity. The new Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV. So it'll be Lowe, Hernandez, and Blanco, followed by Ryan Howard, Maikel Franco, and Cameron Rupp. And the bottom third of Tyler Goodell, Jeremy Hellickson, and Peter Borges. And they will face the 29-year-old right-hander from New Rochelle, New York. Out of Stony Brook, Tom Kohler, who is 2-3. Lots of walks, lots of base runners, but he has been better ERA-wise his last 2 starts, although his last time out against the Brewers, he did allow some free passes.
4-pitch pitcher, you can pretty much eliminate that changeup. He only throws it 8.8% of the time. He's 90-93. Good command with his fastball, but his out pitch will be that curveball.
See if the Phillies can get a run or 2 back here after giving up 2 runs in the Marlins half of the first. David Lowe hitting .235, no home runs, and 4 runs batted in. Odubel Herrera is off today to start. He is available if the Phillies need him, but he's got a little bit of a back issue right now.
Yep.
Pete Mackanin was saying before the ball game that he's not sure which play, but it was a couple of games ago when he went to the wall. He kind of tweaked his back. So they figured with the off day tomorrow, they'd give him a break today, but if they need him, Odubel did say he is ready to go. The thing about Odubel is that one of his goals was to play, he didn't say start, but to play 162 games this year. 2-1 to David Lowe.
That is such a major feat to do that.
In this day and age in particular.
And Cal did it for 47 straight years. You see Odubel? He still might get into this one, Tom.
Odubel? Oh, I think he's going to get in. 3-2 to David Lowe. The Lucky McDonald's Phillies home run jackpot contestant is Merlin Dronick of Schuylkill Haven, Pennsylvania. Phillies hit a home run in today's ball game, then Merlin will win $100.
Good luck, Merlin.
So that's where you could have saved your voice right there. I know that you want to wish Merlin good luck.
I want Merlin to get some money, Tom.
All right. Cesar Hernandez will now be the batter. That was a heck of an at-bat by Lowe. Seeing all those pitches, which is so important. Last time Kohler against the Brewers walked 5 in 5 2/3. Ball 1 strike to Cesar. Cesar 261 overall, no home runs, 8 runs batted in. Runner goes, pitch is taken low, and the throw is dropped, and then there's a scramble for the bag, and he is out at second base. David Lowe is thinking he got back to the bag, and he's just squatting out there as Larry Bow will go to the horn. The ball was dropped by Rojas, and Lowe looked like he was there, but he was on the outfield side, and then he came off and looked like he scrambled back. And honestly, from our vantage point, and I think from the umpire's vantage point, it's tough to tell whether he did get back. I don't think he got him. I think he's back. He was dancing with his hands. I think he's back.
He did the swim move, Tom.
See, right there is when Rojas tags him, but his hand's on the bag. Now, the only thing is that Lowe's hand hit Rojas.
Right.
So maybe that's where they're going to decide that a tag was made. But Rojas didn't hit Lowe. So they don't review it, so it's caught stealing.
Regardless, I don't like the move anyway. Unless that was a missed sign by Cesar Hernandez. You're down by 2 runs. If you run there and get thrown out, maybe it wasn't a hit run. You run in the inning. You kill the rally. He walks the leadoff guy. You already know he's got command issues.
Yeah, now he's 3-2 to the next guy. And there's ball 4. I wonder if he did miss the sign.
That's what I'm thinking.
Because David didn't really get a great jump.
Why do you want to run into an out right there?
Andres Blanco is the hitter. Blanco has scored 1 run in this series.
They had the 11,000 kids here today, and I found it very funny that as Juan Nieves goes out to talk to Kohler, found it very funny that Andres Blanco was up the right field line, about 20 feet up the foul line. Cameron Rupp, also in the lineup today, was 20 feet up the left field line. They both had tees set up and see if they could hit one out.
From those sides.
From both sides. And the kids are rooting them on. And Cameron Rupp did hit one out to left field off the tee. But they would usually, I would think they'd get guys that are not in the lineup to do something like that. I'm thinking, wait a minute, both these guys are in the lineup.
Well, you got to get some extra work in.
Why are they getting a little tee work in?
They may be getting some advice on how the weather could help them. 1 ball, no strikes to Blanco. 2 balls and no strikes. Here it is. See, he was into it.
Let me hear it.
Foul ball, and it's 2-1. Well, if you are going to pick 2 guys, those 2 guys are good guys to pick because they will play along.
Wouldn't you have thought that they get guys that not in the lineup?
That one's pulled, and Bohr has it on the first base bag. Throws to second in time to get Cesar Hernandez. Boy, that inning looked like it was going to be something special, and it turns out to be nothing for the Phils. No runs, no hits, and nobody left. We'll head to the second. It's 2-0 Marlins. #1 live streaming sports service delivers everything you have come to expect and more. Watch every out-of-market game live in HD on over 400 supported devices. It includes a free subscription to At-Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details. Top of the second, 2-0 Marlins. And the first batter is Chris Johnson.
It'll be a long day. We're not getting that pitch.
Looks like a pretty good pitch. It must be just a hair low. But it looks like that's where Cameron, and it wasn't that one, it was the previous one, that's where he's setting up and wants it.
I don't want my pitcher thrown any higher than that.
Right.
When we give our targets, we give low targets because we don't want our pitchers up in the zone.
2-0 pitch to Chris Johnson, who pitch hit in last night's ball game. He worked out a walk. Uh-oh, here he comes. Line drive toward left field. Goodell on the run. He can't get it. It's over his head. Plays it well. Johnson will hold up at first. So it's a long single. And Miguel Rojas is coming up. Well, earlier today, the NBC 10 weather team. There is Sheena. Bill Henley came out right before, and Glenn Hurricane Schwartz, big-time Phillies fan, interviewing Cameron Rupp, and the kids were going crazy for Weather Day. And they were getting the towels rolling. And Hurricane, I don't know what he was doing there, but he was.
And we're going to play baseball.
He was making fog, I think. Murph, tell Hurricane that fog is moisture, just so he knows.
I think he probably already knows that, Tom, as we welcome in Glenn Hurricane Schwartz, chief meteorologist at NBC 10, and Weather Education Day here at the ballpark. The reason it sounds like recess here is because there's close to 12,000 students here coming to see what you guys do over at NBC 10.
Yeah, and it's a combination of two of my favorite things.
And here's our third favorite thing, Vi Sekahema doing some push-ups behind.
Is he not the biggest ham in the world? I finally get a segment on TV, and he's got. Well, anyway, it's two of my favorite things in the world: weather and baseball. And we just saw in the last few days how important the weather was. It robbed Ryan Howard of 2 home runs on Sunday, one with the wind and the other with the cold air. It's more dense. Then last night, Blanco gets robbed. it's, it's there every day.
It is certainly a part of the game. There's no doubt about it. In fact, I was going to ask you about that very thing. The wind also robbed David Lowe of a grand slam the other night. So we were wondering if there's anything you could do to have the wind blowing out when we're up and in when they're up. Is that possible?
Well, that is not quite possible, but I tell you what, I suggested one time we have the openings by first and third base when there's a southwest wind. If you close it off for the other team, you won't get as much of a wind going out. You open it up when the Phillies are up, and the ball will carry. But you need warm weather first. You got to get like July, August type of weather. And I think that would help.
All right, we'll have to look into that. But, really, for you guys today, it looked like you were having so much fun. Certainly the kids were having fun, the waving the towels and watching you guys do the experiments and talking to the players. It's the second year, and it has been wildly successful.
Yeah, we had about 6,000 last year. It was close to 12,000 this year. And it's word of mouth spreads. And what's better for the kids than to come out to the ballpark? They get to see the game. They get to have lunch. And a little science lesson in there at the same time. Relevant to what they're seeing, because the weather is so important to baseball.
All right, and I know you're a big fan, so before I say goodbye to you, what about this team so far this year?
It is such a pleasant surprise, and as a former center fielder myself, I just love watching Odubel Herrera, and it's just a pleasure. I grew up with the Phillies. 1964 is when I started. So there's been so many heartaches that it's nice to see something performing better than expected.
All right, well, Glenn, it certainly was a performance today and better than expected. We expected a lot, but you guys delivered.
And even more next year.
Exactly right. And so almost 12,000 kids, plus the one behind me, Visek, having a great time here at the ballpark. Thanks to NBC 10. Tom, we'll send it back to you in the booth.
All right, Murph, we appreciate that. They did a great job today, really did. Over to shortstop. They'll get at least one. Let's see the exchange. They do get two. Boy, a quick exchange by Cesar Hernandez. And also Andres Blanco. That started because Blanco gave a great feed to Hernandez.
Nail on the head there, Tom. That was outstanding by Andres Blanco. Watch how quickly he gets rid of this baseball. It's in his glove, out of his glove. And the feed was perfect to Hernandez at second base. That was an outstanding double play.
All right, so 2 outs now, and it brings Tom Koehler to the plate. Koehler hitting 100. He's 1 for 10 so far. No balls and 1 strike.
Was a gorgeous double play.
It was great.
Man.
And Koehler strikes out. That'll be the second strikeout for Hellickson. Side is retired, no runs, 1 hit. A nifty double play started by Andres Blanco. We'll head to the bottom of the second. Ryan Howard will lead it off when we return. GoToPhilly.com. Better user experience, especially when viewing on your mobile device. So when you're on the go and want to read Phillies insider Jim Salisbury's exclusive interview with Matt Klentak, you'll be able to do that from your mobile device. Content you care about, how you want it, when you want it, displayed how you want it as well. Look how sharp it looks. That is the homepage right now. There's so much great video, and you can get to the video so cleanly. Off to the left, you see Ricky Bo, you see Tommy Joseph. There's us wearing the green golf shirts from yesterday because it was St. Practice Day. All of these things are right at your disposal. And if you want to order some merchandise, you can do that as well. Jim's story is very good about, if the Phillies are still in contention, what will they do? Matt Klentak's been very honest. I think he's been great with the, with the public and with the media, and very honest with what he would like to do moving forward.
I want to ask you this, Tom. Does Jim Salisbury ever write a bad story?
I have known Jim Salisbury for 26 years, 25 years. No, I don't think he has.
Never has. A game that's built on failure, he's always been perfect.
And now if he can just make that garden perfect, everything would be fine. Ryan Howard leads it off, and Howard takes on the outside corner. Howard so far is hitting 174. He has 8 home runs, 17 runs batted in. His last 4 hits, 3 have been home runs. In fact, his last 4 hits have been extra base hits. The issue is, though, they've been stretched out over a long period of time. To the right side. And out in shallow right field is Dietrich. So 1 away. Time is winding down for the last pieces to the Phillies' fantastic auction. It's in partnership with 94 WIP Radio. Private hitting clinic with Michael Franco and Odubel Herrera. That'll be entertaining. That winds up at 9 o'clock tonight. A Citizens Bank Park Championship pennant set winds up at 7 tonight. A round of golf with Mike and Ike from WIP. That also winds down at 7 tonight. Eagles game day experience. And so much more, including broadcasting an inning with Scott and Larry. That winds down at 9 p.m. tonight. Go to Phillies Fantastic, or go to Phillies.com/fantastic auction.
We just saw Hurricane Schwartz. Do you know he and Scott go to the same barber?
I do know that. I told Hurricane that. And I don't think Hurricane knew that, even though they've met outside the barber shop.
It's where everyone goes, Tom.
Well, I told Hurricane, I said, when I told him that about Scott, and Scott said that they went to the same barber, I did remind him that I don't go to a barber. No, I do. 3 balls and 1 strike to Franco. And there's a strike, 3-2. I don't think we have a grip of the strike zone just yet from Mark Rippinger.
Bench was barking.
Maybe that they're barking not only at that, but on some of the pitches from Hellickson. Little dribbler to the left. That's going to be a tough play, even though Franco does not run all that well, and he is out at first base.
Mickey went right to it.
Yeah. And that's what Pete wants. He said, listen, I need a little bit of a reaction to use because I'm not going to always see it from where I am. That 7th pitch at bat hopefully results in an infield hit for Michael Franco. It was a nice play by Chris Johnson, who isn't playing third base every day anymore. Here's the first look. Where's his foot? And it is on the bag. So it's a hair ahead of the throw. It's really close. That last stutter step cost him a little bit, and they are going to review that.
But kids, notice how Michael did not lunge at the bag. He took his normal stride. Yes, he stutter stepped a little bit, but it's better than lunging. You lose time when you're in the air.
I think that's the right point right there, is that you lose time when you lunge, when you're in the air lunging or stretching for the bag.
Yes.
Which he could have done. If he didn't stutter step, he would have had to have lunged. All right, so our review looks like he is safe. It is very close, though. The ball was not in his glove when Michael's foot was on the bag. And here's the call. He is safe.
Nice and quick. Nicely done. Right now he's telling Mickey, see that, Mick? Speed kills.
And Mickey's saying, yeah, just stay anchored to the bag. We have seen a couple of replays this week here at Citizens Bank Park. That one was 45 seconds in length. They've been quicker, and I don't know if there's a mandate coming down. I think there might be, but they have been quicker, and that's good.
I wonder how much of that had to do with the 5-minute call in St. Louis.
I think it absolutely had something to do with it, because it opened up so much of a debate, because there was another call that night somewhere else that wasn't as long, but it took an extended period of time. 1 ball and no strikes to Cameron Rupp. Jason Stark had a story last week about replay and about how long it is taking for some of the plays to take place. I think we're all in agreement that it's good for the game, but sometimes it does lengthen the game.
Yes.
1 ball, 1 strike to Rupp. He fouls it back to the screen.
Good swing, good balance throughout that swing. You see when he finished up there, he was in the perfect, solid position. Strong base. Watch his finish here. He gets done, finishes the swing. Look at that balance. He could stand there like a statue. That's what you want to see.
I was interested to see how the ankle was going to affect him today. It's his lead foot that's wrapped up, and that's why he's got the guard on it. And a strikeout, the first one of the day for Kohler. 2 outs here in the second.
See, this is what big leagues is right here. You get a good pitch you hit, put a good swing on it, you miss it, then you're stuck in a hole. You got to face Kohler's good pitch. Good tight little slider there. That was one thing I noticed when I was catching, like the quote-unquote really good hitters, like the Barry Bonds and Mark McGwire, these guys, when they got a pitch to hit, they didn't miss it.
Tyler Goodell lines it out towards center. That's going to drop in front of Marcell Ozuna. 4th hit of the series for Goodell. And now Jeremy Hellickson will be the batter with 2 outs and 2 runners on.
You see some hitters, they're at bat and they'll swing and they'll foul a ball off. And they're like, man, you see the look on their face like, you should have killed that ball. Do you ever see the really, really good hitters do that? No, because they're hitting it hard somewhere.
Yeah, and I think that what you talked about, and you could probably talk to this better, when you do just miss it, that frustration does not end with that swing.
No, it doesn't. You carry it.
It carries over. Hellickson is 2 for 11 so far here in 2016. Phillies have a couple pretty good hitting pitchers. Jared Eichhoff, Hellickson, Vince Velasquez. Aaron Nola and Adam Morgan can continue to get better. I was just being nice.
You're a nice guy, Tom.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Hellickson. Runners lead off. And a little high, 3-2. Try to get that breaking ball over. Runners will be off on this pitch. And he fouls it off to the right.
Sure, you're going to get a good lead out there, Michael.
Yeah, Michael has to cheat a little bit because of a lack of speed, because you got some arms out in the outfield. The best of the arms is Stanton. Ozuna's is good, and Christian Yelich is probably the weakest of the 3.
Such a lost art.
The leads or the throws?
The throws. Ozuna, he threw a ball in the other night to second base. It was unbelievable. You just don't see strong arms anymore.
Runners go again. The pitch fouled back again.
Because no one plays long toss. No one goes out and has a catch. We discussed this last year. You watch the outfielders. There was a point last year I watched one outfield. They were literally 15 feet apart from each other. How are you going to build up arm strength if you never throw?
Outside, ball 4. That'll load the bases up. So Peter Borges will bat with the bases loaded. 8-pitch at bat for Jeremy Hellickson. Donnie Baseball, I don't think is too pleased about that walk to the pitcher, but that was a good at bat.
It's a great at bat, and hopefully this inning will end with some runs for the Phils. But it's such an advantage if you're a pitcher and you can handle the bat. Help yourself out a little bit. Help your team out a little bit. You're not just an out knowing 3 pitches, this guy's gone. No, you go up there and you battle.
I think it also, for the Phillies, because they do bat the pitcher 8th, that's even more important.
Yeah.
Check swing. And it's 1 ball and no strikes.
Greg Murphy asked Peter last night after the game, it's been a little bit of a struggle with your offense, but your defense never lacks. You never go out there and taking it back to the field. He said it's something I've always been able to separate, even since Little League.
In the air to left center field. Yelich will angle back. He's under it, and he makes the catch. Side is retired. No runs. 2 hits and 3 men left. We'll head to the 3rd. 2-0 Marlins on top. Fans trivia question. Log on to Phillies.com. Go to the fans section for all the information, and please submit your answer on the subject line. All right, Ben, here's the question. Who are the only 2 players in the modern era with at least 8 seasons of 200 hits and 100 runs scored? The answer will be revealed in just a little bit.
The modern era?
Modern era.
Boy, that's a lot of hits.
A lot of hits, a lot of runs scored,
I
too.
think I know one.
I think if you dig deep, you'll know the other two. Jeremy Hellickson finishes up his warm-up tosses and will face the top of the order: Derek Dietrich, JT Realmuto, and Christian Yelich. Well, kids from all over the Delaware Valley are here for Weather Education Day, and they've been waving those. They're going to be tired after waving all those towels. It was kind of neat to see them all behind home plate today while the experiments were taking place. Dietrich walked and scored his first time. No balls and 1 strike to him. Dietrich was not a starter before D. Gordon went down with the suspension. He was trying to figure out how to play the outfield, playing a little third base and first base. His natural position, at least the one that they had thought he would be at on an everyday basis, was second base. But then the Marlins went out and acquired D. Gordon. And Gordon went on to win a batting title and a Gold Glove. In fact, last year we saw Dietrich at first base. We saw him in left field. We saw him over at third base. Out towards shallow left, Tyler Goodell makes the grab for the first out. And that'll bring JT Realmuto to the plate. Realmuto popped out to Ryan Howard his first time up. Over toward third, foul ball. Realmuto was a heck of an athlete when he was in high school. In fact, there was some that thought he would go to college to play football. He was a quarterback. He committed to go to Oklahoma State mainly to go play baseball. There's some folks that thought he could have easily given up baseball to play football. He was drafted by the Marlins, never went to Oklahoma State, and signed with them. Yeah, the dirt. 2 balls and 1 strike.
You know what just happened, and I haven't seen it happen in ages?
What's that?
Realmuto hit a ground ball foul to Mike Cal at third base. Mike Cal grabbed that baseball and threw it back to Jeremy Hellickson, and he used it, and it stayed in the game.
You really don't see it that
Oh
often.
my! It took me by surprise.
Off speed pitch, 2-2.
Seriously, you never see that.
I'm surprised that nobody did see it and say, whoa, hey, hold on.
Yeah.
Let's go. Bring it out. Softly to short. Blanco charges. The Sixers have the #1 pick in the draft. Is it Ben Simmons or Brandon Ingram or someone else? There's plenty to talk about. Watch Philly Sports Talk tonight at 5 right here on CSN.
Boy, is that a nice play there by Andres Blanco. I know, it's a catcher running, but Real Muto moves pretty well. But Andres comes up, feels the ball, and it's all in one fluid motion, getting rid of it. He feels it cleanly, and then the transition to his throwing motion is all one motion. Very smooth.
Breaking ball, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. Outside, 2-0.
Here's that play by Andres. He attacks the baseball, but when he gets to it, it's all one motion. There's no wasted motion. It is hit slowly, but he has to rush it a little bit.
A line drive caught on a hop by Jeremy Hellickson.
That's why he's got gold, Tom.
He's retired. Hellickson reacts quickly on the mounds. A 1-2-3 third inning. Watch this one go right back at him. Bam. Took a bigger hop than I thought. We'll go to the bottom of the third. Brought to you by your Delaware Valley Honda dealers. Hurry to your local Del Val Honda dealer. Visit DelValHondaDealers.com. By WB Mason. You can't go wrong when you buy right. And buy your local Ford stores. Nice day here at Citizens Bank Park. Phillies trail at 2-0. And the Phillies will send David Lowe, Cesar Hernandez, Andres Blanco to the plate against right-hander Tom Kohler. Lowe walked his first time up, and he hits it foul down the left field line. This really has been a remarkable run by the Phillies this year with their 23 wins. They're tied with San Francisco and Washington with the second most wins in the NL. Cubs have the first with 27 victories. They have the third most wins in all of baseball because you add the White Sox and the Red Sox to the mix. And I guess you could say fourth because those two teams count as two in the standings usually. But it's just a remarkable, energetic turnaround from 2015.
It sure is. Fun to talk about, fun to watch.
1 ball and 2 strikes to Lowe, and he hits it sharply right between the wickets of Justin Bour. I think he just got his footwork all knocked around. It'll be his 3rd error of the year. Cesar Hernandez is coming up.
You're right through the wickets. That's why you work from the ground up. Infielders, keep your gloves on the ground. You can work from the ground up. You can't go the other way. Those numbers are remarkable in the fact that you look at the Phillies, you're just waiting for that one inning, they just burst open.
Cesar bunts it toward the mound. Kohler has it. And he is safe at first base. That is all about speed. Placement, yes, but real good speed by Cesar.
It is all about speed. Marlins might take a look at it, but it's hard to tell. Joe West not very.
I think he was thinking about it.
He was. Kohler comes bouncing off the mound here and fires it. He knows he's got to hustle. Cesar seems to me like he just gets faster and faster every day. He's safe.
Yeah, he's there.
Good call, Joe West.
So the Phillies have runners on first and second with nobody out. The Marlins are still looking at it.
Doesn't it seem like he's getting faster? I mean, he can roll.
Don Mattingly's coming out to talk to the home plate umpire. I wonder if he has a question about the ball arriving.
Maybe Cesar stepped on the plate. That's the only thing I could think of.
Oh, yeah, that could be. That's not reviewable, but that could be. They could confer about that.
That's probably what Donnie was asking about.
Yeah, he's there on the bag. Ball is not in the glove yet. Too odd, nobody out. Blanco hit into a double play his last time up, and he whacks this one inside the bag down the right field line, and that's going to go toward the corner. One run is in. Hernandez will be held at third. RBI double for Andres Blanco. It's a 2-1 ball game.
Is there anything the man can't do?
Sixth double of the year.
And he goes up there attacking a first pitch breaking ball. Not exactly what I would be looking for, but if you recognize it and you see it up in the zone, go ahead and whack it. It's just a curveball that stays up just a hair. Put a good swing on it his last at bat for the 3-6 double play, but this one does get by Bohr to score David Lowe. Good teams take advantage of other teams' mistakes. They just took advantage of Justin Bohr in his error.
And still nobody out with runners on second and third. Howard hits it down the left field line. It's going to go foul.
Well, you see the number of wins, and the Phillies going into this inning, 62 for 276. 62 for 276, a batting average of 225. That would rank them 27th in Major League Baseball in runners in scoring position. 225. And they still have that many wins.
Well, then on the flip side, you have the Marlins, who are pretty good with runners in scoring position. Swing and a miss by Howard, 0-2.
Just put a ball in play. Most likely, if he does put a ball in play, it's going to be to the right side. You would accomplish two goals. One, you score Cesar Hernandez from third base. Then you move Andres Blanco to third base. Get it in play somehow.
1 ball and 2 strikes to Howard. And Howard strikes out. Second strikeout for Kohler. And Michael Franco's coming up.
Talked about that big breaking ball. He will use it if he needs a punch out. That's what Kohler went to right there.
Franco reached on an infield hit his first time up. And they're going to walk him intentionally.
The only reason I would be hesitant to do this if I'm Don Mattingly is because of Kohler's command issues. He has a tendency, he already has the 3 walks in this game. There's no wiggle room. And no offense to Michael, but he hasn't been tearing the cover off the ball.
Now, I would agree with you on that. He does put the double play in order, but I do agree with that. So ball 4, that loads the bases up, and here comes Cameron Rupp, who struck out his first time up. Let's see if Cameron can get a ball up in the air. Drive it to the outfield, get that tying run in. Back toward the middle, into center field, a base hit. 1 run is in. Here comes Blanco heading home. He's going to score. It's a 2-run single, and the Phils take the lead.
You don't think Cameron Rupp took offense to them walking Maikel Franco? You're going to walk him to get to me? Yeah, I'm going to make you pay. Stay within yourself, Cam. That's what you'd like to see. Stay up the middle. Again, first pitch breaking ball. It's his go-to. I'm not going to pull off it. I'm going to stay through it, hit it hard up the middle. That's what you want to see out of your hitters right there.
He did hit it hard. So now Goodell with runners on first and second. He takes a strike. Tyler swung at the first pitch his first time up. Back toward the middle, off the hands, into center field, a base hit. Bronco will have to hold up at third, unfortunately. He did wait just to make sure that ball got through. It wasn't hit all that hard. And it was just to the second base side of the bag. But Tyler Goodell now has 2 hits today.
Seems like he has 2 hits every day since being added to the lineup and playing every day. Nothing Maikel could do. You got to make sure that ball gets down. You don't want to get doubled up. Stop the rally. The thing with Tyler Goodell, and you might probably think the same thing, I don't see a big difference in his swing or his approach. I think just seeing more pitches.
Oh, I think it's more about pitches too. I agree.
It's seeing pitches. I don't see anything technically different in his swing. He's seeing more pitches and getting more comfortable.
Bases loaded for Hellickson. The corners pinch in, and he takes outside. He walked his last time. But don't forget, he had that safety squeeze the other day. And Pete has done the squeeze, whether it be the safety squeeze or the traditional squeeze, a little more often than we expected this year. More out of a necessity because they haven't scored a lot of runs.
And Pete was on with Angelo in the morning team this morning, and he said he was not going to squeeze if he had a chance today. So you're not going to look for it. He did. He said, I'm not going to do that today.
I bet you if he's given the opportunity, he's going to do it.
As Angelo asked about that safety squeeze against the Reds. And the reason I don't think you'll see it here is because of Maikel's speed at third base.
Now, why did he square there? Just to distract the pitcher?
I think so. You have a guy that's struggling to throw strikes.
Swing and a miss. 2-2 to Jeremy Hellickson. Two and two. Runners lead off. And Hellickson strikes out. Third strikeout for Kohler. And they'll leave it to Peter Borges, who was up with the bases loaded his last time up and flied out toward the track in left center field. Franco is at third, Rupp's at second, and Goodell at first. Or just fouls it off.
See Kohler going back for 94 miles an hour right there.
Down low, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Well, I'd love to see a couple more runs here, Tom.
There's a guy down below us that would like to see another hit.
I hear him.
And a line drive toward left field. Yelich will make the play. Hit it right on the nose. And the side is retired. The Phillies do score 3 in the inning. They bat around. They lead 3. Andres Blanco got it ignited with an RBI double. And then Cameron Rupp followed with a 2-run single. 3-2 Phils as we go to the 4th. Series of color LaserJet printers delivered unmatched quality in their Jet Intelligent toner cartridges. Print up to 1/3 more pages. Get yours from who? But WB Mason. Today and experience the difference. Nobody beats WB on HP. Phillies have taken the lead here in the final game of this 3-game series against the Marlins. And Giancarlo Stanton will lead it off for Miami. He struck out his first time up. The runs that scored, 2 were earned, 1 was unearned against Tom Kohler's line. Oh, 2 to Giancarlo Stanton.
He didn't like that call, but that's the way it goes sometimes.
Swing and a miss. This changeup has been excellent again this afternoon. 3 strikeouts for Jeremy Hellickson, Murph, and they hope that this will translate into another series victory.
Wouldn't that be nice? You know, you talk about it all the time. Successful baseball teams just continue to win series. Well, the Phillies are trying to win their 7th series in 8 tries going forward this season. Last series they lost, of course, was in St. Louis. They've won the other 6 that they've played in the last 7. So a win today, they'd win this series as well. And guys, what's interesting is that they're doing it against teams that have a record over 500 and under 500. Over 500, Phils are 13-10 against those teams. They are 10-7 against teams that they've played that are under 500. So it's not like they're just beating up on the bad teams. They're winning series against teams that are at the top of their division and down there at the bottom as well. And I bet you're wondering, you're probably asking yourself, when was the last time that happened? 7 of late 8 series. Well, I can tell you the last time that happened was 2011. They had a pretty good record back then, guys.
They sure did have a pretty good record. Michael Franco makes a nice play there. And, you know, a lot of people have talked about this, and it cannot go unnoticed. But they're only a half game out of first place. And I know it's realistically, it's the 18th of May. There's a million games left to be played. But they're still a half game out of first place.
We didn't see it coming, but it is refreshing.
Can they sustain it? Well, you know, Pete, I was in the office with Pete the other day, and we were talking about that, about expectations. He said, well, people ask me, he said, what am I going to say? Yeah, I think we're going to. It's exactly it. Inside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Murph, I don't want to be an investigative reporter or anything like that, but we just heard you say you love it. What do you love?
I love Tom. I'm reading the back of this man's T-shirt. He says, "I've been a Phillies fan since Del Ennis was a rookie."
Oh wow!
Think about that.
Wow,
that's been a long time. And so yeah, that's a one-of-a-kind T-shirt, I would imagine.
That man would be a historian.
They had it made for him, he said. So there you go.
3 balls and 1 strike to Bohr. Nice.
That is a cool shirt.
I could say I was a fan since Del Unser was a rookie, maybe. But not Del Ennis.
Right at Andres Blanco, and he will throw out Justin Bohr. Side is retired. 8 hitters in a row, including Giancarlo Stanton, who was very frustrated after his 2nd strikeout and his 10th this season against the Phils. Brought to you by Toyota. Visit buyatoyota.com to find out. Toyota, let's go places. Let's go Phillies. We go to the bottom of the 4th inning here at Citizens Bank Park. The Phillies on top 3-2. They scored 3 runs, 2 earned, 1 unearned. And their last at bat started by David Lowe. He reached on the error by Justin Bohr. It'll be Lowe, Cesar Hernandez, and Andres Blanco against Tom Kohler. 1 ball and no strikes. That one's floated out towards center and right at Marcell Ozuna. 1 gone here in the 4th.
A lot of fly balls to center field recently. A lot of fly balls.
Now there's something good about that you're taking it back toward the middle.
It means that the bat's on the proper path to the ball. You're not getting out and around balls and hooking them. You're not cutting balls and slicing in the opposite field.
And Hernandez strikes out. 4 strikeouts for Kohler. Boy, these are 2 quick outs.
Yeah.
Retro Phillies socks are free to all fans. Compliments of Sports for All. Sunday, June 5th, when the Phillies take on the Milwaukee Brewers. All part of a 4-game series. Tickets can be purchased anytime by going to Phillies.com. I think we'll have to wear a retro shirt that day in honor of retro socks.
Those socks look like something Murph would wear. Murph's big on the sock scene.
One ball and no strikes. Andres Blanco had an RBI double and scored a run his first time, or his last time up. It's 2 balls and 1 strike.
Did you really just show me Batman socks? You're wearing Batman socks?
I do have Batman socks on today. I don't know why I took them. Off the end of the bat, up the third base line, fielded by Johnson. He's able to get Andres Blanco. I will say, though, they are probably some of the more comfortable socks that I've ever worn.
They better be.
Why? Don't you like them? Cape Crusader, Ben.
Bruce Wayne.
That's
Looking
right.
good.
That's right. Is open for boys and girls age 6 to 14. Call 610-520-3400 or go to the community section at Phillies.com for more information. We start the top of the 5th. Phillies lead at 3-2. And Chris Johnson takes a strike. Johnson last time up singled. He's the last base runner for the Marlins.
Hit a bullet down the left field line his first at bat. Jeremy tried to get a fastball in, and he turned on it, kept it fair.
1 ball and 2 strikes.
Actually hit it so hard, he couldn't make it to second.
Right. The thing about Hellickson's changeup is that it's been in different spots. That one was in, and he fouled it. Johnson fouls it off his leg. On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, Tigers lead the Twins 3-0. Tigers have struggled this year, but they have given Brad Ausmus a little bit of a reprieve because they've won 3 straight. Freddie Gonzalez was let go by the Atlanta Braves the other day. There's some people that thought that Ausmus would be the first manager to go.
I think those players are playing for Brad Ausmus right now.
They do seem to like him.
He's a great guy. Great guy. Obviously caught forever. Knows the game really well. He's a good people person. Bit sarcastic at times, but who isn't?
Well, he's got a coaching staff of sarcasm.
Yes, he does.
That includes Rich Doobie, the former Phillies pitching coach, Gene Lamont, Nick Billmeyer, who's in the bullpen.
Wally Joyner.
Well, he's got a coaching staff of sarcasm.
The assistant hitting coach there, Dave Newhan, who I played with in San Diego.
David isn't really sarcastic, though.
He can be at times.
2-2 again to Johnson. Change up, hit to shortstop. Andres Blanco. Andres has been rather busy today. It's his 4th infield assist.
Working from the ground up.
And that is the 8th ground ball out for Jeremy Hellickson, which, from a pitching standpoint, Ben, that's when you know he's at his best because his changeup is working, sinker's working, that he has all those ground ball outs.
Ground ball outs mean you're down in the zone, period.
Miguel Rojas hit into a double play his last time up. Playing shortstop today for Adeiny Echeverria. Off the hands. A spinning one hopper to Cesar.
Might want to pick up your thumbs in the batter's box on the way in the dugout. Boy, that never felt good. Very versed at that one, Tom.
Tom Kohler's now the batter.
I wonder how Cameron's ankle is feeling. I've seen him go to the squat a couple times. I've never seen him do that prior till today's ballgame.
So you think go there to stretch it out, to loosen it up?
Maybe just take a little bit of pressure off that left ankle.
Oh, I see.
You know.
Oh, you mean go to the knee like that?
Correct.
Oh, okay.
He's not in a full squat.
I thought you meant he went back to his squat earlier just to keep it stretched out. That
So
could be.
He's
Yeah,
putting all the
be.
pressure on his right ankle there.
It was, as we mentioned, pretty heavily taped still, wrapped today,
Yeah.
which you would expect. He said it did feel okay yesterday.
I always got my cankles taped.
That one's lined out toward left center field. Borges got a great jump, and he's able to track it down. That is 11 hitters in a row retired by Jeremy Hellickson. Another 1-2-3 inning. Citizens Bank Minor League Report. And a lot of games already today for the minor leaguers. It was camp day, school day. Lehigh Valley had a 10:30 start. They defeated Syracuse. Zach Eflin was fantastic. His last pitch was at 96 miles an hour. Blue Claws lost to Hagerstown 2-1. And Clearwater lost to Port St. Lucie, or just St. Lucie, 3-0. That's game 1. Game 2 is coming up. Zach Green 2 for 3 and a double in that loss. Eflin was fantastic. 5-0. His ERA is 2.36. He struck out 6. Carlos Alonso, who's just back, hit his first home run. It was a 2-run shot. He also had a double. Cody Ashley batted 3rd for Clearwater in game 1 of their first game. He was 0 for 3 with a strikeout. Game 2, they're in the 6th inning. Andrew Poulin, who's just back. He had taken a leave of absence, but he's back and he's making up for lost time. Already hit his 2nd home run. We will start the bottom of the 5th inning here at Philadelphia, and Ryan Howard will start things off. He's 0 for 2. Howard struck out his last time up. It's kind of interesting looking at Kohler stretching his arm out, stretching his back out on the mound. Howard did not go, according to the third base umpire. Ryan with 365 career home runs. He has hit his fair share against this franchise. Laid on a 94-mile-an-hour fastball, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
He's pretty much done that against all National League East.
Yeah,
he really has.
.39 home runs, 120 career RBIs against the Marlins. It's full 3-2. Michael Franco on deck. Opposite way. He just flicked that one. Rojas was there to get it. 6-3 on the putout. Time now for the Jeep Stuff the Fans trivia quiz answer. All right, Ben, here's the question one more time. Who are the only 2 players in the modern era with at least 8 seasons of 200 hits and 100 runs scored?
I'm going to say Ichiro Suzuki.
Ichiro is correct. Congratulations on picking your former teammate.
And Derek Jeter.
Derek Jeter's a good guess. It is incorrect. That's an excellent guess, though. The correct answer is the Iron Horse, Lou Gehrig.
Man.
Log back on to Phillies.com to find out if you're the winner of a Phillies prize pack.
Name didn't even pop into my mind.
Now you mentioned Pete Rose to me.
Yes. I mean, you think 200 hits, immediately you got to think of Pete Rose. There's Ichi.
Rose had 10 years of 100 runs.
I would think he'd have 10 years of 200 hits at least.
That ball is hit toward the hole at shortstop. And Franco, hustling all the way, is retired.
Good arm there.
Yep.
Rojas let that baby go. He knew he had a little bit of time, but that's a strong arm from deep shortstop there.
Cameron Rupp now the batter. He had a 2-run single. And Pete Rose, he scored 2,165 runs during his career. It's a lot of runs.
He played on a couple good teams, Tom. I actually thought of Pete Rose before I thought of Ichiro when answering that question.
Yeah. Yeah, if it was the same, if it wasn't the same season, then Rose would be, he'd be on that list. It's 200 and 100 in the same season, because Rose had at least 200 hits in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years, and he had 11 years of 100 runs, if I'm correct with my math. No, he had 10 years of 100 runs.
Okay.
Or more. Ball 4, and Cameron Rupp draws a 2-out walk. Tyler Goodell is coming up. Murph, it's been a remarkable turnaround for this young outfielder the Phillies took in the Rule 5 draft.
It really has, Tom. You know, you talk about he's hit in 7 of his last 9 games, and he has really turned things around. As you said, 11 for his last 32 is Tyler Goodell. And get this, in the month of April, after the month of April was finished, he was striking out 42% of the time. Now he's got that percentage down to 18% as we sit here on May 18th. So obviously doing some things right. And he has been doing some work on a very specific thing in his swing. Steve Henderson has been trying to work with him on not hooking his hands right before he goes back and cocks the bat. He had a tendency to dip his hands and push the bat forward for just a second, and he lost a little bat speed. So they've been working on him with that. It seems to be working for the most part. 2 more hits today.
Yeah, it does seem to be working, and as Ben mentioned even last night, just staying on the right plane going through the ball. 3-2 Phils as we go to the 6th. Philly of the Week has made large contributions this week to the team's success. First, in the road trip finale, Cameron stepped to the plate in the 10th inning and delivered the game-winning 3-run double, leading to a Phils series victory. 2 nights later, he put the bat aside and defended home plate, receiving the game-ending throw from Tyler Goodell on the way to another Phillies 1-run win. Rupp has had that kind of a week, and it's brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless. 3-2, Phillies on top. Cameron Rupp has helped the cause today with a 2-run single. It was part of the 3-run inning. Well, the Galapagos gang is around. I mean, if you're going to have between 11 and 12,000 kids at the ballpark, you have to have the Galapagos gang perform, right?
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. And we should never be partial, Tom, but it seems to me that the production cavity is partial to Iggy.
Well, I think most people are, right?
He's funny.
Although Calvin has some friends. On ball, no strikes to Dietrich. He flied out to left his last time, walked and scored his first time up. That one's on the hands, blooped out toward the middle and backhanded by Cesar, but no play. The first hit for the Marlins since the leadoff single in the second by Chris Johnson. 11 hitters in a row retired by Jeremy Hellickson.
Take that, ball.
Yeah, the only way they were going to record it out is if somebody would have caught that out of the air.
Yeah.
They just couldn't get to it.
That one hit in the perfect location.
Real Muto is 0 for 2. He's popped out and grounded out. Quick toss over to first, and Dietrich is back. Off the hands and spun toward first, a foul ball. That's where he's been successful too, is that when he is throwing his fastball, it's not the middle of the plate, at least not most of the time.
Get in there.
Yep. Would you go back in there now?
After a swing like that, you'd be half tempted. I know that. Look at the run on that baseball.
Broken bat, one hopper to shortstop. Blanco has it. There's one, and quickly to first in time. A 6-4-3 double play. He's got some firewood rolling today. Second double play.
Well, you chased me once inside. I'm going to keep going farther inside just to see how far you'll go with me. JT Real Muto going farther inside. Gets it in that kitchen again for the 6-4-3 double play.
Now Yelich is the batter.
Al Leiter told me a story yesterday. It was really cool that the home, they were playing a game in Milwaukee, and the Milwaukee clubhouse manager,
Phil Rosowitz,
handed Al Leiter a bill, like a real bill, for 13 bats, because the night before Al had broken 13 bats with that nasty cutter of his. I said, Al, that is pretty cool. That's something I'd get framed.
Did he pay it?
No, it wasn't. He wasn't, you know, serious about it, but that'd be pretty cool. Like, hey, you know what? You were so nasty. There's Al. Great man for the game of baseball. But he said, you know, as good as that cutter was, he could go through some lumber.
Swing and a miss, 1-2.
There was a cutter by Jeremy.
And a line drive base hit over the head of Cesar Hernandez. That's the second hit of the day for Yelich. They tried to get it in. They just probably didn't get it in enough there for Christian Yelich.
It was in, but I'd like to see that ball elevated a bit more. We all know where that swing is for lefties. They love to pitch down and in, not so much at the belt.
So now Giancarlo Stanton, who's 0 for 2 with a couple strikeouts. Yelich has good speed, leading off first. Last two series, 1 for 16 with 10 strikeouts against the Phillies.
Hopefully he'll go back and beat up that bat rack again.
That's where he started him their last at bat with 2 pitches on the outside part of the plate for strikes.
He just does not look on balance. Falling off the ball. The take earlier in the bat was a fastball in, and he didn't flinch till it was already in Cameron's mitt.
Long kick in for Hellickson. Looks like they're going to go away with that fastball. Maybe it's a hook. Was a hook blocked by Rupp. It's 3-2. So Yelich will be off and running on this pitch. Phillies do have bullpen action, or at least bullpen stretching. Andrew Bailey, now he's on top of the mound getting ready to fire.
Ryan Howard holding Yelich on. You don't want to get him too big of a lead. Giancarlo hits one in the gap. Maybe you can cut him down at home plate. Maybe with a lefty up, you might see big piece play behind Yelich just to cover a little bit more ground.
Runner goes. Pitch is swung on and missed. He got him for the 3rd time today. 4 strikeouts for Jeremy Hellickson. 3 of the 4 strikeouts have come against Giancarlo Stanton. No runs, 2 hits, 1 man left for the Marlins. A big double play, and well, you can call this pretty big. Striking out Giancarlo Stanton to wrap up the top of the 6th inning. We'll move on to the bottom of the 6th. It's brought to you by Nissan. Shop ChooseNissan.com. By McDonald's. Jumpstart your morning with a hot or iced McCafe coffee. Now starting at just $1. And by Xfinity. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th inning. 3-2 Phillies on top. Jeremy Hellickson, 89 pitches, will be lifted for a pinch hitter as we begin the bottom of the 6th. I'm a little surprised by this, unless there was some reason they were monitoring him, because 88 pitches, he didn't seem to be in much trouble today.
No, but the 3rd time through the lineup.
That's it. That's probably it.
The numbers against Jeremy Hellickson, numbers against, you know, they do jump up a bit.
I guess that's what my thought is that if maybe there's some reason to it, and that could be it. So we talked a little hitting with Steve Henderson.
Yeah, no need to talk over Bob McClure.
And Emmanuel Burris lines one to right center field for a base hit. A leadoff single here in the 6th inning.
see that. Your name's called, be ready. Nice job by Manny Burris there.
Peter Borges is flying out twice today. That went sharply his last time up to left field.
Sharply. Whew.
Hit it right on the nose.
Took off Yeltsin's head out in left field.
Bunts toward third. It's another beauty. Barehanded by Johnson. Sacrifice is successful. Well, Ben, these last couple of days, the city of Philadelphia has gone into a little rarefied air. Phillies #1 overall pick in this year's draft. The Sixers, the #1 overall pick in this year's draft. First time in Phillies history that 2 teams in 4 major sports own the #1 overall pick. And the Eagles, of course, had the #2 pick in this past year's NFL draft. So the Philadelphia is the first pro city ever to have a top 2 pick in the NFL, MLB, and NBA draft in the same year. You don't always want to have that to be a habit.
I was going to say, is that a good thing?
For now it is.
For now it is.
For now it is. But in the future, I mean, think about Washington, D.C. in 2010. John Wall for the NBA, for the Wizards.
Nice job, David Lowe.
Bryce Harper for the Nationals.
Forgot there was already one out.
Then there are 2 outs now.
I didn't have a calculator, Tom.
But now Emmanuel Burris can score on a wild pitch or a fastball or something kooky. Cesar today is 1 for 2. The last time 2 major teams in one city had the #1 overall pick was Houston, when Jadeveon Clowney was taken by the Texans and the Aiken kid, the pitcher, was taken by the Astros. Now that hasn't necessarily worked out for either.
Right.
Clowney because of injury, Aiken because of injury also.
Yeah.
1 ball, 1 strike to Cesar. 1-2.
Best breaking ball that Tom Kohler's thrown all day.
Yeah, you know, the last time he had Hernandez way off balance with the soft stuff and then snuck a fastball at one point past him.
Yes.
Broke his bat. Ground ball up the first base line. Side is retired. Well, he did not only broke his bat went kablooey. 3 unassisted, no runs, 1 hit, and 1 man left. Now for your Delaware Valley Honda Dealers game summary. The Phils put a 3-spot up on the board at the bottom of the 3rd inning. Jeremy Hellickson, meanwhile, on the mound, 6 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, and 4 strikeouts. Cameron Rupp and Andres Blanco each have RBIs. In fact, Rupp has 2. As we go to the 7th inning, the bullpen, which did such a good job last night, will be called upon here again. Last night, the bullpen, 4 scoreless innings, 7 strikeouts along the way in those 4 innings. First up will be David Hernandez.
Good location there.
2.79 ERA for David, 29 strikeouts and 19 1/3. The bullpen has the 3rd most strikeouts in the National League at 132. Last night, the 17 strikeouts overall was 1 off the franchise record for a 9-inning game. And we knew it was close. It wasn't until after the game that we found out that it was 1 away. They had 18 earlier this year, but that was in an extra inning ball game.
He probably won't do it here, but I'd love to see him double up on that pitch inside. Probably go to a breaking ball here.
Got him. 5 strikeouts today for Phillies pitching. 1 away here in the top of the 7th inning. Justin Bohr is coming up, and it's time to learn what's going on around baseball with Greg Murphy. Murphy.
Well, thank you, Tom. Yeah, it's greater coverage of baseball brought to you by T-Mobile. And how about the best record in baseball? I bet you can guess that. Those Chicago Cubs, 27-10 right now. A plus 107 run differential for the Cubbies. Best offense, Boston Red Sox, 233 runs scored so far. And we talked a little bit about this last night. Still a little bit of a time issue, time of games. Last year, you'll remember, 2 hours, 56 minutes was the average time of the game. Well, through the first month and a half of this season, about 3:06 right now. So time issues are beginning to creep back up and become a little bit more of a problem. Maybe it is something that they'll start to concentrate on a little bit better. We haven't really seen the speed up rules enforced all that well throughout the first month and a half of baseball so far. So average time right now about 3:06, guys.
Yeah, but we talked about it the other day as that ball was popped up. Ryan Howard into foul territory. Makes the catch. It was either Howard or Murph were going to catch that one. Either one.
He called me off.
Yep. But Rob Manfred, according to folks and according to Rob Manfred, wants to figure out a way to speed it up, because he was happy with the way it was going last year, not so much this year.
I have noticed that the players just are not in a rush to do anything.
Yeah, I think last year it was on their mind because they had made a big deal out of it. I don't know if they've made the same big deal about it this year. Over towards shortstop, backhanded by Blanco. Boy, it jumped at the last minute, but he was able to stay with it. Hand-eye coordination, and the side is retired in order. Nice job by David Hernandez. A 1-2-3 7th, just 8 pitches. Time to stretch here in Philadelphia. Phil's lead it by 1. I think that the debate, just like it was a debate who the #1 pick was going to be in the NFL, and it wound up being the Goff kid from to the NBA draft.
Yep.
It does seem like it's down to the two guys, Brandon Ingram and Ben Simmons. Two very different players.
Your gut tells you?
Well, my gut tells me Simmons, but I think Ingram, just because I like his all-around game. It's hard, though. They only played 1 year of college basketball. It's really hard to project what kind of NBA player they're going to be. Andres Blanco leads it off, and he takes a strike. It's 0-1.
I call them rentals. They're college rentals.
No balls and 2 strikes to Blanco. Blanco doubled home a run. He's also grounded out twice.
Yeah, Ryan!
Up the first base side again. Bohr has it. And he'll just sidestep past Kohler. Saturday, May 21st. That's this Saturday. The Phillies take on the Atlanta Braves. It's Comcast Be a Fanatic About Reading Day, a Fanatics children's book to fans 14 and under. You can get tickets right now by going to Phillies.com for that afternoon game. Again, make a note of it. It's a 3:05 start. A couple of 3:05 starts this year. Speaking of the character in the aforementioned book, he's usually the most popular person at the ballpark, but tonight or today with all these kids, it is no contest.
His plumage looks very vibrant today, Tom.
Well, I don't know what that means, but he does look vibrant.
His feathers. Look at him. Very vibrant.
Cleaned himself up for weather day.
Apparently.
Swing and a miss, 0-2 to Howard. Hector Neris warming up in the bullpen. Looks like he'll pitch the 8th inning. Dietrich again in shallow right field will take care of Howard. Kohler still meandering through here with 2 outs in the 7th.
If you look at it, David Lowe scored a run on an error. Cesar Hernandez hit a ball hard. Blanco obviously hit a ball hard. You know, Cameron and Tyler Goodell also had some hits, but really not a whole lot of balls being struck hard.
Yeah, his problem, if he has a problem today, is, you know, the walks, but it hasn't really.
It has not hurt him.
It hasn't smothered his pitch count. I mean, he's going to finish up 7 innings as long as he gets Franco or Rupp.
And he's got 5 walks.
Yeah, in
5.
decent shape. Yep. That matches his career high. Two 2-0 to Maikel Franco. Was one of those walks. And now 3-0.
Thinking he has a green light. Going and backspin one out of here, Maikel.
Well, Pete was talking today that they put him in the 5-hole because they're trying to get something different going with him. So maybe they give him the green light 3-0 to get something going. Yep, he got the green light. Wow, that almost went into the radio. It actually may have gone into the Spanish radio booth.
See.
Fly ball right field. Stanton started back, then he finds it and comes in and makes the catch. Phillies go down in order in the 7th inning. We have played 7. We'll head to the 8th. 1-run lead for the Phillies. Brought to you by Yellowwood brand pressure treated pine. If it doesn't have this yellow tag, you don't want it. By Jefferson. Call 800-JEFF now or visit jefferson.edu. And by Toyota. Get a great deal on your favorite Toyota during the Toyota Time Sales event. Toyota, let's go places. Things have really cleared up down in Center City, as you can see, and it's beautiful here at the ballpark. Bright sunshiny afternoon. Time now for a Hyundai defensive play of the game. This is why he's got a Gold Glove.
That's exactly why he has one. Jeremy Hellickson, comebacker off Yelich. He gets in a good fielding position. That's what you want to do. You don't want to be falling off to one side or the other if you're a pitcher. And that is your Hyundai defensive play of the game, brought to you by your local Hyundai dealers.
Hector Neris will be the new pitcher here in the 8th inning. Another solid outing by David Hernandez, who pitched a scoreless inning, struck out 1. Neris an ERA of 1.50. Freddie Galvis takes over at shortstop. Andres Blanco moves from short to first. And Ichiro Suzuki will be the pinch hitter for the Marlins here in the 8th inning. Now Neris has to be a little careful with Ichiro. I mean, for a variety of reasons, but he's not going to swing if it's not a strike.
No.
And a lot of times Hector will get strikeouts on that split and it's out of the zone. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
Ichiro is batting here for Rojas.
Surprised he didn't start today.
1-2.
Actually thought he might have been in there for Stanton.
2,949 hits. Somebody projected today, and I can't remember who it was. It may have been a story in the Miami Herald that at this pace, Ichiro will reach 3,000 hits at some point at the beginning of next year. Off the hands, back toward the middle, backhanded and bobbled by Hernandez. And that'll be a base hit.
He had a pinch hit, base hit last evening. Little dying quail to left field. This one he squirts up the middle. Gets just enough of it. I don't think Caesar would have thrown him out at first base anyway.
I don't think so either. Here's Martin Prado to pinch hit, so Prado will stay in the game. Play off to the right, 0-1. Ichiro has exactly 500 stolen bases for his career. He has been caught 114 times.
Those are some fancy kicks.
His 500 stolen bases with those fancy kicks are first among active players. He's 38th all time. He's 42 years old.
You would never know it.
If you're wondering why Hector's throwing over there, well, last year he stole 11 bases. The year before that he stole 15. He can still steal a base. Is the tying run. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Funny is he'll dive back in head first back into a base, but you'll never see him slide head first into another base or dive head first in the outfield. He's always gone foot first.
Have there been balls in the outfield that if he dove he would have gotten? Or
yes.
Oh yeah.
Yep. He's just always been that way.
Down the right field line, and it is a foul ball.
There were times being on the same field with Ichi, and fortunately I got to play with him for a couple years in Seattle. He would go 0 for 4. He'd go 0 for 4 at times and still amaze me doing something on the field. Whether that be a catch or a throw, or maybe he had a walk and stole 2 bases and scored on a ground ball. Something he did would amaze you.
Ground ball to shortstop. That could be 2. There's 1. And another double play. The double play ball has helped the Phils here this afternoon. It's their 3rd double play of the ball game.
This one of the tailor-made version. This is just absolutely perfectly hit to Freddie Galvis. You come to the ball game, it will find you. Good splitter there by Hector. Perfect hop, perfect feed to Caesar. And the throw on to Andres Blanco at first base.
2 outs. Derek Dietrich is up. Prado is not pleased by that double play. Still not pleased.
No.
Still not pleased.
Stupid helmet.
Fly ball left field. Tyler Goodell over toward the line, drifting, and the inning is over. Hector Neris with another scoreless inning. No runs, an infield hit, nobody left. On to the bottom of the 8th. The Phils still nursing a 1-run lead. Going on the weekends coming up here at Citizens Bank Park, including the Michael Franco bobble figurine, which will be given out on June 18th. Compliments of AT&T, plus the 2 fireworks shows following the Kansas City Royals games on the 1st and 2nd of July. Tickets can be purchased for those future weekends by going to Phillies.com. You can also log on to Phillies.com and check out the promotional schedule moving forward. Jose Urena will be the new pitcher for the Marlins. His 10th game, a 5.65 ERA. Adeiny Echeverria comes on to play shortstop. There he is. Well, I anticipated they would keep Prado in the game. They do not. Johnson's still at third and Boer's still at first. I thought maybe they'd move Johnson over to first, but they'll probably want Boer's bat going into the top of the 9th inning in case they get to that spot. Cameron Rupp swings and misses the first pitch. It's 0-1.
Does any reliever throw 92 anymore?
Genmar. But you're right. Less and less, particularly guys that are being groomed to be closers, to speak. It's 97 with a lot of sink.
Like a left-handed slider. They're the ones that would hurt as a catcher. If you don't keep that thumb up on your glove side.
That ball, 2 strikes to Rupp.
You get that thumb turned down. We use it. You know, I got thumbed again. Get that thumb down. It hurts. See more and more catchers wearing that thumb guard.
Swing and a miss, and Rupp strikes out. People are still talking about Sam Bradford's press conference yesterday. We'll discuss all that, plus the news from the practice field as the Birds continue their OTAs. Watch Quick Slants tonight at 6 right here on Comcast Sportsnet. By the way, we are off tomorrow and then back here on Friday as the Phillies take on the Braves. We were reminded today when looking at the schedule of upcoming events here at the ballpark that tickets for Bruce Springsteen go on sale this Friday at 10 a.m. They go on sale through Phillies.com/Springsteen. Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band will be here on September 7th, Wednesday, September 7th. Think about the concerts that are coming up here at the ballpark. Paul McCartney, Billy Joel, Bruce Springsteen.
That is a good lineup.
Stage is set up out in center field, right where Marcell Ozuna is standing right now. Inside, 3-1. Freddie Galvis, who came on to play shortstop, is in the on-deck circle. Three and 2.
It's just hard for a hitter to get some elevation off a pitch like Urena. That ball has so much tilt on it, so much sink, and it's late. You say, well, sinker ball guy, well, make sure he's up, make sure he's up. Sinker ballers don't generally live in the northern quadrants of the strike zone. Always easier said than done.
Out toward left center field. On the run is Ozuna. It is gone! Home run, Tyler Goodell. His first big league home run. And it's a huge insurance run for the Phils here at the bottom of the 8th inning. I think it's time for another silent treatment.
Good looking swing there, Tyler. Good for you. Yep. It happened last night. It's happening again today. All right, right, go get him, go get him, go get him.
Go to make business. Now let's see how long they can wait. Oh, there you go. 3-hit day today, a 6-hit series. 4-2, Phillies on top.
Well, I said it's hard to find a pitch to elevate off a sinker baller. He did just that. That 3-2 pitch.
Well, he won $100 for Merlin Dronick of Schuylkill, Pennsylvania, in the McDonald's home run jackpot. His average is up to 262.
Way to go, Merlin.
Diving play by Dietrich, and there are 2 outs. Nice play by Derek Dietrich.
Boy, what a good feeling for Tyler Goodell here. Gets that elevated fastball, and that's the same swing we've seen him do on this triple down the right field line, on the singles up the middle. It's the same swing. You let the speed of the pitch and location of the pitch dictate where the ball ends up.
Ball really took off.
It did. Hopefully he can get that one back. May have to swap it out with a fan, maybe a bat, autograph, something along those lines.
I think he could find something for somebody in those gold shirts that they might like. Borges grounds one foul. 0-2.
What a feeling. Home runs on day games were so much cooler than home runs on night games.
Why is that?
Because you had the whole night to think about how awesome it was.
I thought there was going to be something to it. I think you're going to throw some of Glenn Hurricane Schwartz's knowledge at us.
No. From a personal standpoint.
2-2 to Borges. All right, well, that makes sense.
Yeah. You thought I was going to go deep right there, right?
I really did.
Bring out something.
Yeah.
No, it's just you have more time to think about how awesome it was.
Doesn't travel as much during the day. You got to be stronger. Swing and a miss. Borges strikes out, and the side is retired. The Phillies, though, hang another insurance run up on the board thanks to the home run by Tyler Goodell, his first major league home run. It was a big one. He lobbed it to left center field. Got the silent treatment when he came back. 4-2. Phillies on top as we go to the 9th.
Head to the top of the 9th as they try to close out another series win against the Miami Marlins. And after they do that, they'll enjoy a day off tomorrow. But then the Atlanta Braves are coming to town. And here's the guys that will take the baseballs for both teams. Matt Whistler will take the ball for the Braves on Friday night versus Aaron Nola. It'll be Williams Perez, who the Phils saw when they were in Atlanta, versus Adam Morgan on Saturday at 3:05. And then on Sunday, well, it was supposed to be Aaron Blair, but he was optioned to AAA today by the Atlanta Braves, so to be determined pitching against Jared Eichhoff on Sunday, guys. But remember, this one's not over yet.
Okay. All right, Murph. But a big insurance run to maybe ease it a little bit. Here's Yanmar Gomez to pitch the 9th inning. JT Realmuto leads it off. It's a strike. It's 0-1. Gomez looking to pick up another save. He is the major league leader in saves. Ground ball to shortstop. Galvis up with it. 1 away. Well, that's as easy gets right there.
Get 3 outs the fastest way you can. 2 pitches. It's pretty efficient.
You know the story by now with Gomez. If you follow the Phils, this has been a season. Well, it's been an eye-opening season for him. He was really steady last year, an ERA of 3.01. He was a setup man. He did finish 21 games, but you know, those were in some ways mop-ups, or if the Phillies had more than a 3-run lead. This year he has saved 15 of 16. He has 16 strikeouts in 23 innings of work. Yelich today is 2 for 3. To the right side, Cesar is charging quickly to first. 2 outs.
5 pitches to get 2 outs.
Coming up after the ball game, stay tuned for Phillies post-game live presented by Cure Auto Insurance. Ricky Vitalico will discuss not only Jeremy Hellickson, but I'm sure the bullpen and what they've been able to accomplish these last couple of games. Plus, we'll hear from Pete Mackanin. Again, it's only on Cure Auto Insurance presents Phillies post-game live. Giancarlo Stanton now the batter. Stanton is 0 for 3, 3 strikeouts. One for 17 so far against the Phillies, 11 strikeouts. Ball and 2 strikes.
Talk about the bottom falling out of it.
Big time.
Almost looked like that splitter. And that's about the range of the velocity that we've seen that splitter.
29,579. The attendance for today's ball game. 1-2 to Stanton. Swing and a miss. He got him. Yanmar Gomez picks up another save, and the Phillies take 2 of 3 from the Marlins, and they win it by a final score of 4-2. A fantastic afternoon of baseball here at Citizens Bank Park, finished up by a fantastic Phillies bullpen yet again. Tyler Goodell, our Chevrolet player of the game, his first major league home run to go along with 2 singles. Goodell, fantastic these last few games. His home run gave the Phils a huge insurance run in the bottom of the 8th inning. Here is the W.B. Mason delivery of the game. And it was back in the 3rd inning. Cameron Rupp right on up the middle. They had just walked Michael Franco intentionally, and Rupp was able to make him pay a bases-loaded single that brought home 2. It made it 3-2. Goodell tacked on the home run to make it 4-2. And that is our W.B. Mason delivery of the game. Cameron Rupp, his first game back behind the plate after sustaining a little bit of an ankle injury the other night against Cincinnati, and he's down with Murph.
He is indeed. So I guess the first question is, how did it feel out there getting back out on your feet after the injury?
It was good. You know, a couple days off, gave me a little bit of rest, got the swelling down, and felt good being back out there with the guys.
I did notice that you set up a little bit differently a couple times. Was that for that reason?
Yeah, just to kind of get off of it a little bit. It's still a little sore, but I'm able to play through it, and I'm able to contribute, and that's what I was hoping for, and it was good.
All right, let's talk about the base hit because they walked Maikel Franco in front of you to get you up to set up the double play. But I guess still at some point when the guy in front of you walks, does it give you just a little bit of extra?
Yeah, you got to, you know, you want to bring those guys home. You know, that means that they want you instead of him, and they gave me a pitch I can handle, a pitch up in the zone, and drove in a couple runs.
Jeremy's changeup today seemed to be the pitch to go to. Did you see that early on that he was going to be able to have success with that?
Yeah, he's always had success with it. It's been a big pitch for him this year, and it being my first time to catch him all year, you know, I was kind of just trying to learn him. You know, that's part of my job, and he was outstanding for us.
Well, you did your job very well today, Cam. We appreciate your time. Guys, back upstairs.
All right, Murph, thank you very much. Our thanks to Cameron Rupp for joining us. Here's the final out. It actually went pretty easy today for Genmar Gomez to pick up his major league leading 16th save. Yeah, that's his reaction. It's as cool as it gets.